everyone, welcome to House to Luna and another timeless pick a card reading. If you already know which pile you want to watch, go ahead and skip to the timestamp in the description box below, and if you need more time, feel free to pause the video. If you'd like more information on what I'll be going over in these readings, I'll go into that now. I'll be using my custom spread, the Celestial Navigator. This is a 6-position spread. The first position, the Navigator, you. Who are you becoming right now? What inner force is steering your choices? Second position, the Black Hole. What is anchoring you to the past or to misaligned patterns? What keeps tugging you away from what you actually want? 3, Field Aligned Current. What is naturally guiding you towards growth, and what's going right even if it feels unfamiliar? Fourth position, Point of Motion. What single action would create the most forward momentum right now? Fifth position, Rings of Saturn. What must be worked through before this path opens? And final position, Event Horizon. If you follow this path, what future begins to take shape? So take a moment, clear your mind, and choose the pile that calls to you. Pile 1 is the Grape Bubble Yum flavored lip balm. Pile 2 is the Cool Mint Icebreaker lip balm. Pile 3 is the Fruit Punch flavored lip balm. And pile 4 is the Blue Raspberry Jolly Rancher flavored lip balm. I'll see you at your reading. Hey everybody, if you chose pile 1 with the Grape Bubblegum Lip Balm, then this is your reading. So I almost reshuffled this pile because every Oracle card came out reversed. Off camera, I actually flipped through the remainder of the deck just to be sure I didn't have the entire deck upside down, but it's not. There's plenty of upright cards in there, so we're keeping it. What I'm getting from this is that the guidance around you may feel upside down right now, but your path isn't broken. It's just asking you to listen in a different way. Let's get into the cards. So with this 3 of Pentacles right now, you're standing inside a collaborative creation. This could be a job, a business, a project, or a life path that just has a lot of moving parts. It requires many different skill sets and collaboration between different people. This isn't something small. This is something that had to be built through effort, expertise, and coordination. But with the Earth Keeper in reverse, there's a deeper message here. You're being reminded that you are not separate from what you're building. Your body, your mind, and your emotional state are all part of the project. You can't create something meant to serve the world if you're slowly draining yourself in the process. This is about co-creation, not just with people, but with life itself. With the 5 of Chalices in reverse, there's grief here. Something that hurt you, something that disappointed you, something that changed you. But this grief isn't being honored. It's being pushed down so you can keep going. You might be telling yourself that you don't have the time to feel it, that you have to be strong, that there are bigger things to focus on. With the Hummingbird in reverse, it's saying that your success is still assured, but you have to allow yourself moments of stillness inside everything you're doing. The hummingbird is a symbol of stillness within motion. Even though their wings are moving so fast we can barely see them, their body remains perfectly steady. When they migrate, they don't fly randomly. They follow what's called the floral highway, a path that times their journey so that they arrive exactly when the nectar is richest. This is a reminder that if you rush past your emotions, you can miss the nourishment meant for you. You don't have to stop moving forward, but you do have to pause long enough to actually receive what life is offering. With these next 2 cards, the main thing I'm sensing is imposter syndrome. Strength in reverse is basically you second-guessing your talents, strengths, gifts, and abilities. It's showing a dip in your confidence level. You may feel worn down, be doubting yourself, or questioning whether you really belong where you are. But the corn in reverse shows the truth of the matter. You didn't fake your way into this. There were no shortcuts taken here. You didn't get lucky by accident. You planted seeds and now they're growing. You are exactly where you deserve to be, and you earned the right to be there, honestly. One more thing before we move on from this position. These cards are in the place of potential growth. As such, Strength in Reverse asks you to nurture self-compassion. In practical terms, consider journaling, seeking a mentor, meditating, and getting some gentle exercise. All of these things would lead you in the right direction. With the King of Wands, I'm seeing that you are a visionary. You see potential in people, in ideas, in the future. Your passion and creativity inspire others and motivate them to greater heights. You don't just participate, you weave things together. In similar fashion, the mystical shaman is a storyteller, one who is not defined by the myths, but who creates them. He dances between worlds and sings them into being. In reverse, this card is a reminder to mind our words carefully, for whether you speak good or ill of yourself, the situations and people and places you deal with, either way, you're calling that story into being and reinforcing its truth. So speak life into your world. That's your greatest source of momentum right now. And for some of you, I'm getting a secondary message off of this oracle card, and that is to be careful what you wish for. Some of you might not yet realize just how complicated a role you've signed up for. It's not saying it won't be worth it, just to make sure this is truly what you want before you continue. That message isn't going to resonate for everybody, but if it's for you, I'm pretty sure you'll know. So the Queen of Swords in reverse is someone who has become, or is starting to become, overly negative, critical, harsh, cold-hearted, maybe even sarcastic. I'm seeing two reasons for this. One goes back to that Five of Chalices energy and the grief that needs to be healed. The other is this curse in reverse. This card refers to the stories that we repeatedly tell ourselves that turn into negative and limited belief systems. If left unchecked, these negative stories start causing us to act in ways we eventually regret, potentially hurting the people and opportunities around us. Which is precisely why these cards are showing up here in this position. This is the position of what must be worked through right now. In extreme circumstances, those unhealed emotions and negative belief systems can start manifesting themselves in the body, showing up as a disease, self-sabotage, or creative blocks. I don't believe this is currently happening for you. It's just a gentle warning so that you can correct your trajectory before any real damage starts accruing. In your final position of what future will take shape if you follow this path, you have the Seven of Wands reversed and the Owl reversed. The Seven of Wands here shows that there is real progress and success. But just like in a video game, the higher the level, the higher the difficulty and the stronger the competition. But also the better the loot and the greater the satisfaction. The Owl in reverse reminds you not to fall back into fear or self-doubt when things start to work. Stay intentional, stay honest, stay aligned, and always trust in yourself above all else. You're not meant to retreat from this path, you're meant to rise into it. If this pile found you, it's because you're building something meaningful, even if you don't always feel strong enough to do it. Let yourself feel what needs to be felt. Speak kindly of your future, and trust that what you planted is already growing. If this reading resonated, leave a feather emoji in the comments. It lets me know the message reached who it was meant to. And as always, thank you for walking this lifetime with House to Luna, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! everyone! If you chose pile 2 with the Cool Mint Icebreaker Lip Balm, then this is your reading. The first position shows a powerful shift happening in your life right now, especially around connection. The Thunder card represents sudden awakening energy. It's the kind of change that feels bigger than you, something you can sense deep in your bones even if you don't fully understand it yet. Thunder can be startling, but it also clears the air and signals transformation. Paired with the Hermit in reverse, this suggests you may be emerging from a period of emotional withdrawal. You've spent time protecting yourself, healing, learning, and becoming comfortable on your own, and that was necessary. But now something or someone may be pulling you back towards connection, and part of you isn't sure if you're ready. The Hermit in reverse doesn't mean solitude was the wrong move. It just means this season of purposeful isolation is ending. Who you're becoming right now is someone learning how to step back into life. Not by abandoning your independence, but by allowing a meaningful connection to exist alongside it. Thunder is the wake-up call that says your heart might just be ready for more than your mind thinks it is. In the second position, what is anchoring you to the past? We have Lovers and Soul Retrieval in reverse. This is very clearly pointing to a past relationship or an emotional bond that went a little deeper than just connection. It became your identity. The Soul Retrieval card in reverse speaks to losing parts of yourself in order to be loved or accepted. It suggests there may have been a time when you compromised your truth, your boundaries, or your sense of self to keep a relationship intact. And with the Lovers here, this wasn't something casual, it was meaningful. This was real love, or at least it felt like a soul-level connection. But somewhere along the way, the relationship may have stopped being two whole people choosing each other and started feeling like your purpose or something you couldn't exist without. And that kind of merging can be beautiful at first, but it can also lead to codependency if parts of yourself get left behind. And now, even if you've healed in many ways, the memory of that experience can create hesitation. The fear isn't just about being hurt again, it's about losing yourself again. That's the black hole here, not the past relationship itself, but the part of you that learned love could cost you your identity. In the third position, what is naturally guiding you towards growth? We have the Four of Wands and the Vision Quest. This energy is a little quieter than the previous positions, but still incredibly important. The Vision Quest is about stepping away from noise and reconnecting with something real. Nature, spirit, your body, your breath, your life. It's about perspective. When we feel stuck or unsure, stepping outside our routines helps us see clearly again. Spending time outside, moving your body, being present in the world around you. This is already helping you heal, even if you don't realize it. And with the Four of Wands, this represents celebration, stability, and safe connection. In this deck, it shows two people at peace in a garden or park area, away from stress, enjoying both nature and each other. And with this coming in after the Hermit and the Soul Retrieval, this tells me something key to this reading. The time you spent alone, healing, reflecting, learning yourself, it actually worked. That phase was not wasted. It prepared you. And now the same practices that helped you heal in solitude are becoming the doorway back into connection. You don't have to abandon your self-care to let people in. You just have to bring that grounded version of yourself into the relationship. Connection doesn't start with another person. It starts with feeling at home in yourself. In the fourth position, what action creates the most forward momentum right now? We have the Queen of Wands and the Mystical Shaman. The Queen of Wands is confidence, authenticity, and self-possession. And in this card, what's really standing out to me is the black cat at her feet. Historically, black cats were seen as bad luck, something to fear or reject. But the Queen of Wands doesn't care about superstition or outside opinions. The cat is hers because she chooses it. She doesn't explain herself. She doesn't seek approval. She knows who she is. And that energy connects directly to the Mystical Shaman, the myth maker, the one who creates the story instead of letting the world define it. This is co-creation energy. It's alchemy. It's remembering that your life is something you actively shape. This position is particularly important in this reading because of what we saw earlier with the Lovers and the Soul Retrieval card, where identity may have been lost inside of a relationship. The action that will create the most forward momentum for you is to remain fully yourself, even within a connection. You don't need to explain every choice you make. You don't have to shrink parts of yourself to be understood. You shouldn't merge your identity with someone else's in order to be loved. The right relationship won't require you to disappear inside of it. Forward momentum comes from standing in your own energy, not abandoning it. In the next position of what must be worked through before this path fully opens, we have the Eight of Wands and the Rainbow. This energy is much more straightforward. The Eight of Wands represents momentum, movement, and things beginning to progress very quickly. After a period of stillness or hesitation, life starts moving again. The Rainbow points to energetic alignment, your emotional, spiritual, and physical energy flowing together instead of tugging in different directions. Read together, this tells me that as life begins to move forward, socially, emotionally, romantically, the challenge will be staying centered in yourself. Don't abandon the balance that you've worked so hard to build during your healing phase. Movement is coming, but alignment has to move with it. Growth isn't just about moving forward. It's about staying aligned while you do. In the final position, what future begins to take shape if you follow this path, we have the Six of Cups and Flow in reverse. The Six of Cups is a card of emotional warmth, kindness, and genuine connection. It speaks to relationships that feel safe, familiar, and nourishing, where love is shared freely and compassion flows naturally. This is not intense, overwhelming love. This is gentle, supportive love. And the Flow card, even in reverse, carries an important message. You don't have to force anything to make this future happen. When something's right for you, it unfolds in its own timing. In reverse, this card asks you to relax your grip on outcomes. Trust the process. If obstacles happen, they're guiding you, not blocking you. This can play out in more than one way. For some of you, allowing connection back into your life leads to a relationship that feels emotionally stable and fulfilling, something that grows naturally once you stop resisting it. For others, this experience may be part of rediscovering yourself in connection. You may realize you want more freedom, more exploration, or a different kind of partnership now that you've learned how to stay grounded in your own identity. And that is still a beautiful outcome. Either way, the future here is not about losing yourself in love. It's about experiencing connection from a place of wholeness. When you stay rooted in yourself, love doesn't trap you, it expands your world. Well, Pile 2, that's all I have for you today. If this reading resonated with you and you're ready to move forward while staying rooted in who you are, comment the ginger root emoji below. If you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss out on future messages. And as always, thank you for walking this lifetime with House to Luna, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Hey everyone, if you chose Pile 3 with the Fruit Punch Twizzlers Lip Balm, then this is your reading. So right away I'm seeing some strong patterns in these cards. There are 3 queens present, which suggests a lot of feminine or relational energy either within you or in the people surrounding you. Interestingly, the one queen missing is the Queen of Swords, and there are no swords in this reading at all. So this doesn't feel like a situation being guided by logic or analysis. This feels emotional, intuitive, and grounded in real-life circumstances. There are also multiple pentacles present, which suggest a strong connection to the material world, responsibilities, stability, work, building something tangible. But at the same time, the oracle cards are pointing somewhere deeper, towards spirit, ancestors, and long-standing patterns that may be ready to shift. So Pile 3 feels more esoteric than the others, like something beneath the surface is trying to come into awareness. Let's go deeper into these card positions. For what inner force is steering your choices, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse and the Curse. This immediately feels like emotional pattern awareness. The Queen of Cups in reverse can suggest emotional overwhelm, difficulty trusting feelings, either your own or others, or struggling with boundaries and relationships. This can show up as withdrawing emotionally, either overgiving or expecting too much, and feeling disconnected even when you care deeply. This isn't from a lack of compassion, it's emotional exhaustion or possibly confusion. The curse card adds an important layer here. This card isn't about punishment, it's about patterns. These can be ancestral, karmic, childhood conditioning, or long-standing belief systems around love, emotional safety, or connection. And when this card appears upright like this, it means something powerful. Awareness. You're beginning to see a pattern that has been operating beneath the surface for a long time, and awareness is the first step to breaking it. So what is steering your choices right now? You're learning to understand your deeper emotional patterns instead of being controlled by them. This is the beginning of emotional clarity, even if it feels uncomfortable. In the second position, what is anchoring you to the past or misaligned patterns, we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse and the Rattle in reverse. The Six of Pentacles in reverse points to imbalance in giving and receiving. This can look like power dynamics in relationships where generosity comes with expectations, emotional debt, or conditions attached. It can also point to environments where love, approval, or support felt transactional instead of freely given. The Rattle in reverse adds an ancestral or behavioral pattern element to this. It can represent using personal power only for survival or self-protection, rather than from a place of balance or trust. This doesn't necessarily mean anyone intended harm. Sometimes these patterns are learned simply because they were normal in the environment in which we grew up. And when something is familiar, it can feel safe, even if it's limiting. If you've seen these patterns modeled for a long time, it can be difficult to imagine a different way of relating to people. You may unconsciously expect relationships to involve imbalance, obligation, or emotional bargaining, and that expectation can quietly pull you away from the kind of connection you actually want. But patterns learned for survival don't have to define your future. In the third position, what is naturally guiding you towards growth? We have the Queen of Wands and the Council in reverse. This queen feels like someone in your life rather than you directly. In this deck, she's shown with a radiant golden sun behind her, but what it's reminding me of is one of those giant gilded mirrors like what you'd see in an art museum. Something reflecting energy back to you. Sometimes growth happens through people who show us what we don't want to become. This person may have helped you see your patterns more clearly, especially those around integrity, authenticity, or the difference between how someone appears and who they truly are. And that realization, even if it's uncomfortable, is guiding you towards growth. The Council in reverse adds a spiritual layer to this. It speaks to reflection and life review, the idea that you don't have to wait until the end of your life to examine your choices, your patterns, and your direction. You can choose differently now. And what's going right here, even if it feels unfamiliar, is awareness. You're beginning to listen inwardly, to question old conditioning, and to sense guidance beyond what you were taught growing up. You may not fully trust that inner guidance just yet, but it is already present. In the fourth position, what action creates the most forward momentum right now? We have the Three of Pentacles and Wind in reverse. The Three of Pentacles is collaboration, learning from others, and building something alongside people who bring different strengths and perspectives. This card often appears when growth will happen through community, through observing, listening, and participating, rather than doing everything alone. The Wind in reverse adds the energy of change and clearing space. Wind spreads seeds so new things can grow in new places. In reverse, it can mean life is already beginning to shake things up. This is about letting new influences enter your life. So the action here is simple but powerful. Expose yourself to different environments, different people, and different ways of relating. If your past experiences shaped your expectations of relationships, new experiences are what will rewrite them. You don't have to force connection. Just allow yourself to be around people who feel healthy, grounded, or inspiring in ways that may seem unfamiliar. Sometimes growth comes from seeing what's possible. New perspectives can create new patterns. In the fifth position, what must be worked through before this path opens? We have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the Lower World in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse can point to fears around stability, security, or support, especially within family or long-standing relationships. There may be concern that changing your beliefs, behaviors, or emotional patterns could disrupt the dynamics you've always known. Sometimes growth brings the fear of losing approval, support, or a sense of belonging. And that fear is understandable. The lower world in reverse speaks directly to shadow work, acknowledging the past rather than avoiding it. This card reminds us that the parts of ourselves we've ignored, inherited patterns, and early conditioning all hold important lessons. Growth here comes from facing these patterns with compassion instead of resistance. The lower world is where we meet the hidden parts of ourselves, the pieces shaped by our past, our family, and our experiences. When we acknowledge them, they stop controlling us. So this position suggests that before this path fully opens, you're being asked to release the fear that healing or changing will cost you your foundation. Your stability won't disappear when you grow, it will evolve. In the final position, what future begins to take shape if you follow this path? We have the Hierophant and Water, both in reverse. This is a powerful resolution to this reading. The Hierophant in reverse is the card of breaking away from old systems, traditions, and expectations that no longer feel true to you. It represents independence, self-discovery, and finding your own beliefs rather than inheriting them. This is the energy of choosing authenticity over conformity. The Water card speaks to purification, regeneration, and emotional rebirth. Water dissolves what no longer needs to exist, so something new can form. This is transformation at a deep level, not just changing behavior, but changing identity. If you follow this path, you step out of inherited patterns and into emotional renewal. You begin to define your own values, your own way of loving, and your own way of living. This may feel messy at times. Growth often does. But it leads to freedom. You're not just changing your life here, you're changing your lineage. Pile 3, if this reading resonated with you, it may be a sign that you're stepping into a new version of yourself, one shaped by awareness rather than old patterns. If you're ready to release what no longer serves you and allow transformation to unfold, comment the ocean emoji below. And as always, thank you for walking this lifetime with House to Luna, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Hey everyone, if you chose pile 4 with the blue raspberry Jolly Rancher lip balm, then this is your reading. For what inner force is steering your choices right now, we have the 9 of Wands in reverse and the middle world. The 9 of Wands in reverse can show up when you're feeling tired, discouraged, or questioning whether the effort you've put into something is really worth continuing. This is the energy of someone who has already given a lot, time, energy, resilience, and is wondering if they still have more to give. This doesn't mean you're failing, it just means you're exhausted. The middle world represents the present moment, the place where spiritual intention and physical reality meet. It reminds you that you are supported in the world you're living in right now, even if you don't fully see how things are coming together. Sometimes help arrives quietly through timing, opportunities, or small shifts in circumstance. So this feels like you're learning to trust the process even when your energy is low. You may feel uncertain about continuing, but the path you're on is still aligned. You're closer to completion than it feels like. In the second position, what is anchoring you to the past or to misaligned patterns, we have the Hierophant in reverse and Earth. The Hierophant in reverse can sometimes represent healthy independence, but in this context, it feels more like resistance for the sake of resistance. A desire to push against structure, guidance, or established methods simply because you feel constrained, or honestly, maybe just because you're tired and cranky. This can happen when you've been working hard for a long time and start to question everything. The Earth card brings a very grounding energy into this position. It reminds you of stability, integrity, humility, and the value of steady effort in the material world. It's about honoring what is already supporting you, the systems, habits, and foundations that have helped you grow. So what may be anchoring you right now is a tension between frustration and stability. Part of you may want to walk away from structure or tradition, not necessarily because it's wrong for you, but because you're tired. But the Earth card suggests that that foundation you're standing on is still solid. Not every structure is a cage. Sometimes it's support. In our next position of what is naturally guiding you towards growth, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse and the drum also in reverse. This energy feels very exploratory, like someone still learning their rhythm in life. The Knight of Swords in reverse can represent scattered energy, acting quickly without full clarity, or trying things before you feel fully prepared to do so. But this doesn't feel careless. It feels like learning through experience. Sometimes direction only comes after movement. And the drum in reverse speaks to rhythm, the feeling of being slightly out of sync with where you are or what you're doing. It can feel like you're forcing yourself to fit into something that doesn't quite match your natural pace, but that awareness itself is growth. So what's going right here, even if it feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable, is that you're discovering what does and doesn't resonate with you. Even uncertainty is guiding you. Sometimes we have to experience the wrong rhythm before we find the right one. Confusion can be part of the path to alignment. Next up, what action creates the most forward momentum right now? We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse and the Rainmaker in reverse. The Four of Pentacles is about security and resources, protecting what you've worked hard to build. But in reverse, this can become fear of loss or holding on too tightly to those resources in an effort to feel safe. This doesn't have to be about just money. It can be about stability, identity, opportunities, or even expectations about how life is supposed to unfold. Oops. The Rainmaker in reverse speaks to belief and possibility. It shows up when hope feels distant, or when it's hard to imagine life expanding beyond what you already know. This is sometimes called a scarcity mindset or a fixed mindset, the belief that there isn't enough to go around, or that things can't actually change for the better. So the action that creates forward momentum here is learning to loosen that grip on fear and allow possibility back in. This doesn't mean you should be reckless. It means trusting that growth doesn't erase what you've built. Security and expansion can exist together. In the fifth position, what must be worked through before this path opens, we have the Four of Wands and the Witness. The Four of Wands is community, shared milestones, and celebrating progress with others. It can represent the people around you, family, coworkers, friends, or collaborators who are connected to what you're building. This card reminds you that you're not doing it alone. The Witness speaks to inner stillness and perspective. It's the ability to step back, observe without reacting, and trust what you already know to be true. Sometimes progress doesn't require pushing harder. It requires allowing things to unfold. So what may need to be worked through here is perhaps the fear of being seen, or maybe the feeling that you have to control every aspect yourself. You don't have to carry everything alone. Part of growth is trusting others to play their role while you stay grounded in your intentions. Stillness can be just as powerful as action. In the final position, what future begins to take shape if you follow this path? We have the Devil in reverse and the Curse. It may not look like it, but this is actually a very reassuring combination. The Devil in reverse represents breaking free from limitations, old habits, fears, expectations, or patterns that once felt impossible to escape. It's the moment when you realize that you have more control over your life than you thought. It's liberation through awareness. The Curse card reinforces this. It speaks to recognizing the source of long-standing patterns, whether they come from family, conditioning, or past experiences, and beginning to untangle them. Once something is seen clearly, it loses its power to control you. So if you follow this path, you begin to release what no longer defines you. You gain clarity about your choices, your direction, and your identity. You're learning something vital, and it will carry you forward. Pile 4 feels a lot like someone standing between stability and self-discovery. If this reading resonated and you're learning to trust yourself and grow through experience, comment the mirror emoji below. It lets me know this message is reaching who it's meant to. And as always, thank you for walking this lifetime with House to Luna, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!